What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. My name is Lucas Murphy, and I am super excited to be talking Kansas City sports with you. And I really have kind of been developing the idea around this YouTube video. I've been thinking about it for a while, so this just did not spurn up from a third preseason game last night against the Chicago Bears. I think there's been a case building for the subject matter that we're going to be talking about. And that is truly that I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to have the best career year he's ever had. And obviously that's not saying he can't have even better years in the future, but I think up to this point, I truly believe this is going to be the greatest year he's ever had. We got to remember, he's a 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time AP MVP. He's also got 3 Super Bowl MVPs. He's a 2018 AP Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And so we're talking about a player who has had the highs of the highs, and we had really kind of the Mahomes that we saw last year. And he really didn't even play super poorly. It's just the supporting cast around him wasn't always there. And so I think that plays a factor into it too. Now we're going to dive in. I'm going to go through 5 different categories that I think are going to support this case for why Mahomes is going to have the greatest year he's ever had. Stability and continuity is going to be number 1. So for the first time in years, Mahomes enters a season with offensive stability. He knows who his running backs are going to be for the most part. He knows his wide receiver room. He's worked out with them on a consistent basis. Majority of them have been on the team for a consistent basis. Xavier Worthy, multiple years. Rashee Rice, multiple years. Juju Smith-Schuster, multiple years. Travis Kelce, multiple years, and obviously not a wide receiver, but that connection is what it is. So he has continuity. He has stability in that room. He's adding a guy that is very similar to a Rashee Rice and Jalen Royals. So the comp, the ability to work, and now he's adding a deep threat who really did kind of look similar to a MVS and Tyquan Thornton. And so I think he's really truly starting to have some cohesiveness. The stability, like I've stated, is there, and it's just showing truly that he's going to have offensive weapons to really throw to. And I think that's the most important thing. I mean, you're seeing the presence and developing route running skills of Rashee Rice. You're seeing the speed and explosiveness and the different trees that Xavier Worthy provides. And we haven't even talked about Hollywood Brown yet. So the fact that that's there, I think, is the most important. He won't be forced all the time to play hero ball or have Mahomes magic like we saw in the Bears preseason game. That was absolutely insane. The fact that he fitted in that window to Juju Smith-Schuster was just absolutely incredible. And the fact that he was on the run, I mean, just shows you the skill set and how much higher his skill set is than some quarterbacks. It's just incredible. Now, the next thing, and I've talked about this, I was kind of scrutinized for talking about this, but that is going to be the offensive line strength. And that's another thing that I truly believe could potentially be one of the best in the NFL. Do I truly believe it's going to be the best in the NFL? No, I don't. I think you'll still have some areas of weakness on the offensive line. And let's just face the facts, ladies and gentlemen. These are professional football players. They're going to be going against professional football players. And so at times, you're going to get worked over. You're going to get beat off the line. They're going to know a move that works against you that will, eventually get to the quarterback. Like Mahomes will never stay completely clean in the pocket. That's just the NFL. But I truly believe that this offensive line is going to be more superior than what Mahomes has had in the last few years. And I truly believe that we're going to see a line that comes out with a chip on their shoulder. And a perfect example of that, and again, I completely understand that this is a preseason game, but I think that goes along with what I'm saying, that Trey Smith was absolutely demolishing people like a bulldozer in a preseason game. The fact that he flipped that switch and found a way to just maul 2 Chicago Bears, I believe one was a defensive lineman, the other one could have been a linebacker, I don't know, but he clean swept one of them off their feet and then just took a whole group out like, a bowling ball coming down hitting bowling pins. It was incredible. But I think that shows you the ability to what Mahomes is going to have in the pocket. We saw how clean his pocket was when he threw that deep ball to Tyquan Thornton. We saw the ability to hit Travis Kelce in that connection that we're so used to as Chiefs fans, and Mahomes wasn't running for his life. I think the fact that this offensive line is now going to be an actual strength for this Kansas City Chiefs offense, I think there's going to be that chip. I think there's going to be that motivation. And I think it just isn't going to be with Mahomes, but I think it's going to be with the offensive line. They listen, ladies and gentlemen. They don't just turn everything off. They understand what people are saying about them. So I think that that's going to be there. And again, the evolution of Mahomes is going to be number 3. He's 29 years old. He'll be turning 30. He's in the perfect blend of his prime physical ability, and his IQ in football is just continuously to evolve. Especially when he's got Andy Reid. Obviously, he works really well with Matt Nagy. There's, the connection again that he has with Travis Kelce, the communication that those two have, really dissecting a defense, talking pre-snap, talking probably pre-game, the reads, the coverages that they discuss. And that goes all over with what Mahomes is able to do. He's no longer just relying on his ability to have arm talent. He's not just coming up with these trick plays as we say Mahomes magic. And I think he's really growing and maturing as not only in the football state, but in the IQ state. And I think we're really starting to see that evolution even more. And I think that is another major reason why I think this is going to be his best year that he's ever had. Now, offensive innovation, and I think Andy Reid went back to the drawing board. As cliche as that is, I think Andy Reid went back to the drawing board, and I really think he started studying the X's and O's. I think he really started looking at the playbook and started understanding ways to improve this offense. You're bringing one of the best receiving cores that Mahomes has ever had, as stated previously. You're bringing in a running back room that has a lot of flexibility in the ground and pound with Isaiah Pacheco, but also the ability to catch the football. You're bringing in a guy like Kareem Hunt, who, again, got to taste what success was, but just came up short. And you got guys like Elijah Mitchell, who, again, had tasted success with the 49ers and came up short. You got guys like Brashard Smith, who's never experienced what Arrowhead is fully about, has never experienced a true NFL football game in a real season, is going to be absolutely motivated. We saw it last night, the ability to run out of the backfield and catch the football. He did miss one ball that was still even incredible that he almost reeled it in. And so I think the fact that you're now adding a running back room like that to a potential offense like this just again takes this level of what Mahomes is to another level. Now, the final thing that I'm going to talk about is the most important in my opinion. It's the motivation factor, the Mahomes factor as I'm going to call it. He thrives on proving doubters wrong. After critics said in 2023 was a down year statistically, and even though he still won the Super Bowl, he was hungry. To remind everyone that he's not just a winner, he's a stat monster too. 2025 could be the year he makes a run again at 50 touchdowns, and I truly believe that that's going to happen. I think that he is going to unleash the football. I think he's going to not only be a very good football player for the Kansas City Chiefs, but if you draft him in fantasy football, I think you're going to get a steal. Because I think a lot of people are starting to really kind of write him off in the fantasy world. I truly believe that Patrick Mahomes has such a heavy chip on his shoulder that it's weighing one side down. And I think that he is hearing the outside noise. He obviously got to experience it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in the ESPN documentary. The guy literally didn't take a day off, it felt like, and was already back to the grind. I mean, Mahomes is going to prove it. And I think really last night what we saw in the Chicago Bears preseason game was the fact that he still has a lot of that magic that we are used to seeing. The rollouts, the throwing on the run, the sidearms, the ability to just lay the ball in there. I mean, it looked phenomenal. And I think you can tell Chiefs fans are, as I'm going to say, Chiefs Kingdom, is extremely motivated as well because the amount of aura that was on social media last night in a preseason game was incredible. And so I truly believe that is going to really kind of bring it all together. I really believe, again, that Mahomes is going to have the best year of his career. Mahomes has the weapons, he has the protection, the experience, the motivation. Add all that up, and 2025 might be just another great season. It could be the best season. Patrick Mahomes' legendary career. I truly believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you checking out this video. Let me know down in the comment section what you believe Mahomes is going to do in 2025. As always, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. I appreciate all the support, and I end every video the exact same way. Have a good day.